to show you how this bit of folklore turns a simple weather event rain into the absolute catalyst for, well, for everything.
For agricultural production, for how the family works, and even for how they have fun. You have to understand, in that kind of rural life, the weather is the rhythm of the year. It dictates everything.
And this rhyme just lays it all out, a single, concise narrative.
Exactly.
So let's start with that moment the rain hits. Our sources had these great phrases for it.
Oh, yeah. My favorite was the agricultural production starting gun.
That's the one, or the key to the farming machine. The idea that when that specific rain, that Luo Shui Zi, starts to fall, everything just lurches into motion.
The planning is over. It's time for frantic, immediate action.
So what are those first actions? What does the rhyme tell us has to happen, like, right now?
Well, the rain is the prerequisite. It provides the moisture that softens that hard, sun-baked earth.
Which you can't work otherwise.
Impossible. So the rhyme signals the immediate start of the really heavy stuff. First up is patian,
Raking the field.
raking the field, and then right after that, shitian.
Which is driving the plow, or tilling.
Right.
Okay, so why in that order? Why rake first? Is it about just breaking up that top layer?
Precisely. You have to break up that top crust, soften it so the heavier plow can actually get in deep and turn the soil over properly.
So it's a vital sequence.
It's an instruction manual, really, encoded in a rhyme so you never forget it.
Okay, so the land is raked, it's tilled, it's ready, but now you're on the clock, right? That moisture window isn't going to last forever.
Not at all. So you have to move fast. And the poem is very specific about what they're planting. It's not just, go plant some seeds.
It's a dual focus.
A dual focus, yes.
Okay.
First is saguzong, sowing the rice grain. That's your primary staple, your survival.
But it's not just that.
No, right alongside it, it specifies zongyu tu, planting taro.
Which shows they're thinking about secondary crops, about having a backup.
Exactly. It's about ensuring all the family's caloric needs are met. The whole sequence is it's so clear. The rain falls, it wets the chicken, the mauji.
It's just that visual cue, right? The sign that the weather's turned.
Yes. And that triggers raking, tilling, sowing rice, planting taro is a complete operational plan.
That brings us to something that I have to say was one of the most powerful parts of this whole thing, the emotional cost. The poem doesn't just focus on the farmer. It brings in the draft animals.
It's an almost tragic image to find in a children's rhyme.
Tell us the line.
The line is, Niguting Janyan Yan Leiliu.
Which means?
The ox hears the sound of the rain and sheds tears.
Wow.
You really have to just sit with that for a second. It's this moment of incredible empathy. The farmers are projecting their own exhaustion, their own, maybe, despair onto the animal.
Because the ox knows. It knows what that sound means.
It knows what's coming. Days and days of just grueling, heavy, muddy work. The patian and the shitian.
It grounds the idea of survival in this shared suffering between human and animal.
It does. And it validates the farmer's own effort. They're both, yoked to the land and the weather. And it's not just the farmer and the ox either.
The whole family has to mobilize.
The whole family. Especially for the water management, which is incredibly complex. Everyone has a job.
And what does the rhyme say about the younger family members? What are their roles?
It mentions Dipengay, Mei Pengray.
Older, younger sisters.
Or just girls, yeah. Lifting and carrying things. Now, this could be lots of stuff. But in this initial phase, it's almost certainly related to the water tasks.
Yeah.
Building up the banks, maybe.
So nobody is exempt.
No one. The entire family unit has to contribute to this critical infrastructure work right now.
So we have this incredible physical cost. The ox is crying, but you can't endure that without some kind of psychological payoff, right?
You need a powerful motivator.
A really powerful one. And that's where you get this idea of dreaming bigger than your biggest measuring cup.
Yes, the kuazang. Hyperbole. It's a dream magnifier. It's this essential tool that takes this abstract hope for a good life, for Yishu having enough food and clothing.
And it makes it concrete.
It makes it completely concrete by benchmarking it against the physical containers they use every single day.
And this is where their system of weights and measures actually becomes a literary device. It's not about numbers, it's about real objects you can hold.
Exactly. So the poem talks about two different sizes of taro, and it uses two different measuring vessels to describe them. First, the big taro.
Okay.
The line says, Yutu dagwa jiang mendu. Now, a jiang mendu is a specific, very large, traditional measuring container for huge volumes of grain.
So the hope is that the taro they grow will be bigger than this already massive container.
Bigger than the biggest thing they used to measure with. It's Their version of saying the pumpkins will be the size of cars.
It's an almost impossible standard.
And they don't stop there. They do the same thing for the smaller taro offshoots, the yuzai.
So even a secondary crop gets the same treatment.
Yes, yuzai de guo misheng too. A misheng is a smaller vessel, more like a bushel. But even these smaller offshoots are expected to be bigger than that container.
So it's this intense layering of abundance. The main crop is huge, but even the smaller crop is spectacular.
It's how they articulate the reward. This is what you get for the ox's tears and your own sweat. The dream has to be that big.
Is this kind of thing tying hope to real physical measuring tools? Is that unique to Hakka folklore?
You see versions of it everywhere because it's just so effective. It makes the dream tangible.
But the specifics.
The specifics, the Zhangmendu and the Misheng too, that's what makes it so authentic to this community. These aren't abstract concepts. These objects define their entire material world.
They're the literal standard of success.
They are.
That's a powerful idea. And the only way to get to that giant taro is to manage the water properly. Which brings us to the next phase, the shift from pure work to pleasure.
Yes, it all comes down to infrastructure. The rhyme points to the most critical task, sai putu,
Which means?
Building or plugging the bank of a dam. The goal is to shuhao shui, to store good water. This is the linchpin of the whole system.
Because that dammed water is what will get them through the dry periods later.
It's engineering for survival.
So they build this dam purely for agricultural reasons. But the moment the work is done, that function transforms.
It does, immediately.
What's the very first reward they get from that stored water?
It's so practical. It's shishen washing the body.
Oh, of course.
I mean, you have to imagine what they look like. Covered in mud, sweat, grime. The stored water is the first chance to wash away the physical burden of all that work.
The ritual of cleaning off the day's labor. And from there, the rhyme says they move straight to recreation.
Pure fun. The line is, delay you.
They can come to swim.
Or just play in the water, yeah.
Yeah.
One of our sources had this wonderful analogy, called it a natural swimming pool.
So this thing they built for work
This functional agricultural structure.
becomes the community pool.
It's a collective recreational space, a way to cool down after brutal physical labor. It shows that the reward for all that work isn't just some giant taro months from now.
It's immediate.
It's immediate, it's shared, it's social. The successful work directly enables leisure.
The whole system is it's perfectly connected. Now, Luo Shui Zi is the main blueprint, but our sources pointed to some other rhymes that give these other little glimpses of life.
Right, little sociological snapshots.
Let's touch on Luo Shui Kamau, the fallen hat.
This one is a little domestic drama. It's sparked by a kid who wears a hat in the rain but still gets soaked.
So a moment of childish stubbornness or foolishness.
And the mother, the Emma, gets furious. She chases the child, she hits them. She's trying to enforce discipline.
But it's not just a parent-child thing. It's more complicated.
It is, because it's a multi-generational household. The grandmother, the A-Ren, steps in.
To protect the child.
Yes, the rhyme says, she, Z. She stops the mother's action. And right there you have this classic conflict over who has authority in raising the child.
And then the grandfather shows up.
The grandfather, the A, he's just coming back from the fields like exhausted.
And he walks right into this family argument.
He walks into chaos. And the rhyme says he can only stare blankly. Yan Gigi.
He's just stuck.
He's stuck. He's exhausted from his own work, caught between his wife and his daughter-in-law, and he just doesn't know what to do. It's an incredible snapshot of family pressure.
That's a ton of social data in just a few lines. Then we fast forward to the harvest celebration with Xianyampai, the salty-eyed bird.
This takes us to the 6th month, and it emphasizes that massive collective effort needed to process the harvest.
It's not just one person's job.
Oh no. It talks about being pushed to grind and sift, even carrying your baby siblings while you wait for your aunt, the Wangu Lai, to show up and help. The whole community is mobilized.
And the feast has to match that level of effort. What's on the menu?
It's all about abundance. You go to the market, the Dengzhu, and you buy fatty goose, fatty chicken.
The good stuff.
And the centerpiece dish, Jududunyuan tea, pork belly stewed with ham hock.
A serious celebration meal.
A very serious meal. And it's all to celebrate the Xingmi, the new ricin. It's the material proof that all that collective work paid off.
And just quickly, there was one more, Wan Nisha, playing with mud sand.
Yeah, that one's just a simple, lovely counterpoint. It's just about kids being kids.
Making mud pies.
Basically. Making cups from mud, pretending it's tea, singing songs. It's just a reminder that even in this incredibly demanding world, there were still moments for simple, unstructured play.
Okay, so let's try to synthesize all of this. If you pull back, the real insight is that these aren't just little songs.
Not at all.
They're these incredibly dense, multisensory records
Mhm.
of history, of labor, of family. They capture both the heavy body labor, the crying ox,
And the rich dream.
the impossibly large taro.
And if we connect that back to you, the listener, understanding folklore this way, it's like getting a special lens. It lets you see the deep connections between work, the environment, and what a community considers a reward.
Every single detail, the order of raking and tilling, the specific crops, the family roles, it's all essential data.
It's data about how people engineered survival and how they defined what a good life looked like.
Which leaves us with a final, I think, a really thought-provoking question for you to consider. We talked a lot about that hyperbole, the taro being bigger than the Zhongmendu or the Mishengtu.
Those big physical measuring containers.
Right. They weren't just abstract numbers. They were heavy objects from daily life that became the concrete benchmarks for hope, for aspiration.
So the question for reflection becomes,
Yeah.
if that Hakka farmer measured his biggest dream against the size of his physical storage bins, what do we use today?
What modern objects or metrics do you use to define your own dreams of success?
Is it a number in a bank account? Is it the square footage of a house? What's your modern quantifiable Jaemin-do? What's the thing that sets the benchmark for your aspirations?
Something to ponder. We'll see you on the next deep dive.